our grand trial in Crash 2. Give us just a minute to make sure audio's working, and I'll be right with you. Okay, good. Now, as usual, let's wet the old whistle, get those headphones on, and then we can jump right back into this game that has proven pretty tricky as of last night. So, at any rate, welcome back, class, to a new stream of the Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy, specifically Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back, remade for the current console generation. Here on the Overanalyst channel. My name is Brady, and we're going to be starting a little bit early tonight, seeing as we are very close to beating Crash 2. We've got two of the game's, I think, 42 gems left to collect, one of which is really tough to get, the other being quite straightforward, and then the final boss. So, I don't plan on taking too terribly long to clear this game. So we started an hour early tonight to afford us time to do that, maybe give some final thoughts on this game and how the Trilogy is shaping up for me as a real first-time player as a whole, and then dive into Crash 3, which is typically held to be the very best of the Trilogy by most of the reviews and retrospectives I've seen. Okay? So, if you'll recall, on our previous stream, for those of you who missed it or just couldn't bear to watch the VOD, because it does get, particularly salty, this game got me in a fitful state last night, because there was this one gem, this single, white gem, in a stage called Cold Hard Crash, that was an absolute bastard to get our hands on. Because here's what you had to do, in short. The stage had more boxes in it, right? You have to break all the boxes to get your colored gem, than any other in the game. It had 155. And it was an ice level full of the really tractionless ice physics that we've seen quite a bit of in the game. And it had a death pathway. Meaning, you had to make it about halfway through the standard stage, just to be able to access this death pathway, which leads to probably the single most frustrating obstacle course in the entire game, in my opinion. Almost exclusively on slippery ice, you gotta navigate gaps, you gotta navigate penguins and loads of those nasty little porcupines. You gotta navigate tons of those pillars, the trap pillars that are just ready to squash your Bandicoot flat, and nitro crates as well. All of this, breaking boxes as you go, right? But there's a series of wireframe crates throughout the stage, and the exclamation point box you need to hit to fill those in, cause them to appear, is at the very end of the death path, directly above a pit that will forcibly deposit you into the final third of the level with no way back. In other words, locking you out of your chance to get the gem. So, you gotta make it all the way to the end of this death path. One time. Hit the exclamation point box. Go all the way back through it the way you came, just as flawlessly, and it's not much easier that way, I can tell you. And all but one of the wireframe boxes are iron, meaning they cannot be broken, they do not count toward the 155 total. It's a single box you have to break. And it's at the end of the most difficult platforming challenge in the entire game. Then you can't just go on down that hole, because remember, it locks you out of the second little section of the stage that you access the death path from, and there's boxes there. So you've got to ride the death platform all the way back down, and then, without a checkpoint for a good little ways, navigate still a pretty difficult platforming stage until you hit a checkpoint, breaking every single box along the way. Cold Hard Crash was just an absolute monster. because it involved a death path, it involved backtracking, it involved really precise jumps and a loss of control over your character. It was a bear, and it really wore me down. But before we suspended the stream last night, we found another gem right here in this stage. We're standing... Oh, sorry. What did I just do? I accidentally pressed the touchpad button. Is this going to take us back to the main menu of the... Yeah, whoops. Sorry, we'll load back in. But we found a stage, or a gem, in the first stage of World 5, Piston It Away, that works really similarly. It requires backtracking. It requires you leaving one very specific enemy in one location alive, and it requires the successful navigation of a fairly tricky death path. All of this near flawlessly. Now, I do know for a fact, because I heard somebody else talking about this since last we met, there is a way to cheese this a little bit, and if we can't do it easily, I'll be open to using that method. Just makes the death path a little bit easier to navigate. But, well, here we go. Let's give it our best. This is one of those really cool Cortex-themed stages. Or, I'm sorry, high-tech, space-based stages. Very impressive visuals here. And speaking of impressive visuals, just a little while ago, just before I got on stream, I saw the trailer, like the 90-second trailer for Crash 4, proper Crash 4, and it looks absolutely amazing. Like, I will talk more about this as we progress through the trilogy, but I have very high hopes for that game and its reception. I hope it's received extremely well, sells well, because as difficult as a game like this may be, we just need more really robust platformers, I think. Now, this bit isn't too hard, right? You just go along navigating some basic enemies and obstacles, and yeah, this section of the stage is not bad at all. Oh, sorry, give me just a second to go into mod view. For whatever reason, I totally neglected to today. Now, and you'll see we've already got quite a few boxes, and I can tell you this stage has plenty of nitro crates. So, we're doing pretty good so far, yeah? Well, that's true. But, there's a couple areas where this stage in particular gets really tricky, and we've not come upon any of them yet. We really want to keep this mask with us. Otherwise things will get very nasty. But this is it, guys. This is effectively the last major challenge in the game. We'll have to get the white gem from the very last stage, which involves running both the regular and, like, multi-gem path that we needed all of the color gems for, but that's about it. Now there are as I said, a ton of nitros here. And in addition to the tricky little death path, this stage also has one of the harder bonus stages, I think, to make it through unscathed. Come on. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to do something kind of tricky here. Well, not tricky as in difficult, tricky as in kind of clever. We're going to leave this crate. We don't want to break this yet, because the death path is right over yonder, and I don't want to smash this crate. Well, wait. Give me a second. I'll think about this. Yeah, no, we want to leave that there because I'm pretty sure it won't respawn if we die on the death path, or what have you. But before we go down the death path, since it leads to an alternate exit, we have to go do all of this while leaving that little guy perfectly intact. Watch out for the shrink rays. Ain't that something you just hear every day? Now here's the bonus stage. This one, we're probably gonna lose our Aku Aku mask in, and that's perfectly fine. Your first set of boxes here ain't nothing special. But this is the trouble spot. Okay, we managed to do that properly. I'm quite impressed with myself. Yeah, that's what almost always happens there. You have to perfectly land that jump. Now we've just got to be very careful as we work our way back across. There's one more tight jump just before the exit. There it is. There we go. Nice. Very nice. First try, how do you like that? Now remember, we can't die before accessing the death path. And we're going to have to go through almost the entire stage. Luckily, those guys aren't too dangerous, even if you do mess up their timing. What? It had its tentacles raised! No, 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 no. We're going to have to try that again, and this time, I'm going to use the little trick that makes the death path 1,000 times easier. Because we are not hanging around here all night. No, 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 no. See, there's something about the death platforms, or death path platforms themselves, that isn't exactly telegraphed all that well, because I don't think it's necessarily supposed to be. See, all you gotta do to open those routes is reach the platform without dying previously in that run of that stage. You gotta reach the platform, you don't have to complete the course without dying. So, if we were to say, ride the death platform over to its special little course, immediately throw ourselves into a pit, and respawn at the checkpoint just before the death platform, well, we would actually be able to take that little detour as many times as we want. The platform would not vanish with that death or any other we incur, giving us effectively unlimited tries to get this damn thing right. There we go. I've got this part down by now. We've seen a lot of this stage, and we've seen a lot of, I think it's Unbearable. We ran through 1,000,000 times. Okay. the slide is executed just flawlessly as soon as you put in the button command, off like a shot from a dead stop. I love that. Okay, now we want to save you, because we're about to cheese the death platform. Hopefully. Hopefully this works in the Trilogy. And it's not like just a glitch or something, it's something they deliberately put in to make these things a bit easier. And we'll lose one of our 42 lives, but what's it matter? Okay, we are here. We are on the death platform. Whoops! Now we have to do the death platform last because I believe there's a point beyond which you can't backtrack. Somewhere along its route, I should say. That was clutch. Yeah, there it is. Now let's hope that holds true. Now remember, that little guy's gotta live. We gotta use him to get back up here. Okay, we'll probably burn our Aku Aku here, trying to get past the nitro crates, but that's okay. Just glad he's here for the ride. Oh no. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to burn our nitro, or Aku Aku on nitro now. Hell, almost made it that time, though. That was pretty impressive, actually. There we go. Good, good. Now, let's not forget, there should be 4 nitro crates and then 2 question mark boxes at the very end of the stage. Or the gauntlet, should I say. No, 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 no! Again, the timing on these jumps, man, is so unforgiving. Well, shall we carry on? Shit. Until we find a mask. Well, no, let's just give it a few more tries. Deaths in bonus stages won't count against our life total anyway, so we can keep going until we master this. And then promptly die as soon as we get out, so we have to do it over again. Hey, okay. So far, so good. Extra life, thank you very much. That's the way. And that counts, I believe, as a checkpoint. Yes, it does. So we're good. At least as far as that stage is concerned now. Poor guy's just screaming in mortal terror. Oh! Wow, I think that's the first time... That might be the first time a scientist has killed me in this game at all, in any of their various wacky incarnations. And they get wackier as the series goes on. As I recall, in Wrath of Cortex, you find them dressed as, like, knights and scientists. Or, not scientists, they are scientists, but knights and wizards and cowboys, maybe? Ninja or something? I'm a little foggy on that game. Extra life. Do we chance it? Of course we do. You know, I actually found out by watching a bit more of that other streamer do an LP of the original Crash 1 on PS1, this game's version has been made significantly easier, if you can believe that. I believe the same holds true for Crash 2 as well. For instance, in the PS1 release of Crash 1, you got exactly one shot at every bonus stage. As soon as you find the third token, you're instantaneously transported to the corresponding bonus stage. And, well, if you don't get it in one go, that's it for that run of the stage, meaning you miss out on all those valuable boxes you definitely need to progress. Oh, how the hell am I gonna get past that? I've no idea. Oh no, guys. Well, that'll help. When in doubt, just Aku Aku spam your way to victory. Alright. No boxes over here, right? Whoop. Good. Good. Man, I get so much use out of this slide jump. It is such a great maneuver, and like, hard to explain, but like the smoothness of its execution feels really good from a control standpoint. All right. Not perfect, but nor is life. Back we go. Alright, this is the one. Huh. Oh! Landed right on its tentacles. That is going to be a very tricky jump we have to execute. Alright. How on earth am I supposed to deal with you? Oh, again, too far. Damn it. There we go. This bit we've got down. Okay, that should be all the boxes here. I just hope... Hold on, real quick. Sorry, I want to check something. to make sure we're doing this in the right order. I know, I look up lots of guides, but we're almost there. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Oh. Oh, I wondered about that. Just a moment. Almost there. Okay. Uh-huh. Sorry, just a minute. We're almost there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry. Almost there. Ooh. Ooh, sorry. Thank you, Crash Bandicoot Reddit. I just got a brilliant strategy that we can try if this doesn't work. Might not be necessary to make this crazy jump after all. Oh, very good. We can actually just spin those little shrink orbs away. Now, you wouldn't think that, given that they're like just energy-based projectiles. Well, I guess Crash could do something similar with Cortex's projectiles earlier in the series. Hey, there we go, just barely, but alright now. Let's get our mask, or I guess we already are considered to have broken the Aku Aku crate there. Maybe we did? I honestly forget. Yeah, I think we did. My bad. So now we can head on to the death route, which, fair warning, is really hard. Well, I say really hard, not compared to what we just did, but we might have to retry a few times. Which tragically means doing all of that again. Ooh. That's right, neither of these guys ever raised their little tendrils. None of them, I should say. There are three. Hey, presto! And now we see that the little guys can actually fly as well. Lovely. Managed to spin just in time. Don't even care. Aku Aku was a worthwhile sacrifice there. Did we get all the boxes? Please, God. Yeah! Nice. Well, that was tough, but with a little help from our good buddy the internet, as well as some perseverance, we managed to get that gem. Just one more before Cortex. Oh, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Crash 3 as well, because apparently it has the most diverse and interesting level themes in the original trilogy. Really into that, because I love this series' visual style, Crash's design notwithstanding. So yeah, we need the crystal and the gem from Spaced Out, the box gem, which means we're going to have to get, I think, 29 of it's 60 boxes, right? Yeah. 29 of them on a regular path along with the crystal. Then the remaining 31 on the special path that we have previously traversed using all of the colored gems that we've found. Now, Crash 3, I know, does traversal and, like, the exploration of secret pathways a little bit differently, in that after every world, or after every world's boss fight, you unlock some kind of special ability for Crash, or in this case, I presume Crash and Coco. And they'll be used, I would assume, to as great of an extent, or a greater extent, than the, colored gem platforms, if indeed there are any in the third game. So we're definitely going to have to wait until we've done everything in the games, like Critical Path, to, to seriously try gathering, like, miscellaneous gems and the like. Don't see any boxes, so it looks like we're good. I see. That's interesting. A lot of nitro crates here. Whew. There it is. Hey, bonus stage. And Aku Aku, don't mind if I do. Oh wait, no, sorry. These boxes then weren't on the gem path. There might not have been any boxes on the gem path. They're all in the bonus stage. I see. And seemingly everything else is just pure nitrous. Alright. There we go. Not too bad compared to some of what we've had to do, eh? Ooh. Yeah, never was a fan of those, like, little rallies with the spring boxes. Up and down. Nice. Okay, so... She stayed spinning even as we came down. That is a shame. Okay, so after this we should have 44? Well, once we detonate the nitro, of course. got that bit down. Okay, so maybe we, there we go. Hey, not bad, not bad. Quite good, actually. Ooh, that's actually a pretty hefty looking stage in front of us. So you can even neutralize bolts from above with the spin move. That's good to see. Okay. Too far away when we began our slide. But man, though, this is it. This is like the last serious test in Crash 2. Well, we've got like a fight with Cortex, but it's anything like the first games. It'll be thematically appropriate, but not, you know, reasonably difficult. Not the hardest thing in the world. There we go. There's our crystal. And there's our gem. Hey. Oh, one more of these. We cannot touch the edge of that platform, I don't believe. Nice and easy. There we go. And there you have it, ladies and gents. All 42 gems. Like clear and prismatic in Crash 2 for the N-Sane Trilogy. Whew. Overall, I gotta say, I really enjoy the variety of objectives they set out for us, as I've said many times on these streams before. It's nice. Oh, we got the laser-powered vengeance trophy, I guess for collecting all the gems for Embryo. Oh, hold on. We'll talk more about this in a minute.
Yes! My plan is nearly complete. And I have you, Crash Bandicoot, to thank for it. Engine, what's happening? What's that? Is she stealing our signal?
Crash, Cortex isn't gonna use the crystals to contain the planet's energy. He's gonna harness the force and use it to power the super Cortex vortex he's built on his space station. One blast and the ray will cover the entire world, turning everyone into Cortex's mindless slaves. Crash, don't let him have those crystals!
Engine, you fool! She's telling him everything! Oh, yes, we're back now. Pardon the, interruption. Crash, bring me crystals!
And do we get a special announcement from Embryo or anything? No, not yet, I guess. But anyway, I was going to say, before we head on to the final boss, I really appreciate that they broaden the diversity of objectives you have to complete to get, like, special gems in this game. For instance, while the first game had basically 2 objectives that would be present, or one of 2, either break all the boxes or break all the boxes on a single life. This game did not reduce that set of goals, but rather greatly expanded them by, among other things, introducing second gems to most of the standard platforming stages, where we still get a gem for breaking all the boxes in a given stage, as we would in Crash 1, but there's also you know, gems you can unlock by beating time trials on the little jet ski segments, or by finding secret routes and warps elsewhere. By completing some of the optional stages, you can find those hidden warps for, you know, that bring you to the hidden warp room. By, oh dear, what else? Making it through an entire stage without breaking any boxes. Things like that, and I think giving the player that range of diversity, different things to do or objectives to accomplish during a run instead of just, you know, perfectly interacting with all of the collectibles or something like that is really, really good design on the devs' part. And this game was released, I want to say, just a little bit, well, either just over or just under a year after Crash 1, so they learned a lot and implemented a lot of new ideas and refined a lot of what was already there in a very short span of time. So, yeah, really solid game overall. Let's end it in style. As Mr. Anti-Charisma himself. Just like the jorts and the sneakers, and he got tribal tattoos in the mutant-based games. He just looks like the kind of character you'd expect Fred Durst to voice, right? Okay, so looks like I got my wish of controlling the jetpack a bit more. We've just got to catch up to Cortex and spin him, looks like 3 times. And all the while, he's just running from us, trying to run the clock out, essentially. Alright. Whew, that was close. Why did you... Cortex, why did you turn around? It's not a good idea, bro. Oh! Dang. So we're working against a timer here, not a health meter. Or we don't have a health meter, I should say. Almost. Gotcha! Oh, is that it? We earned the Cortex Inadequate trophy, as well as the Speed Shoes. I'm pretty sure this was a power-up introduced in Crash 3, but yeah, it allows you to run even faster by holding down the R2 button while moving. This is really useful for completing the time trials that were added to this game, supposedly. But yeah,
Haven't seen the last of me, Crash Bandicoot.
one of the easier bosses in the game, I want to say. Not quite as easy as the Komodo Bros, but, kind of anticlimactic. I'd complain more, but I got to use the jetpack, so I'm happy. Well, Embryo should have taken care of that. Well, this isn't it. We've got to get to that special scene. Right? Right? Yep.
You have acquired all of the gems. Incredible. Crystals are not the only means of harnessing planetary energy. The gems have that ability as well. And with them, I can destroy the Cortex Vortex forever! Let me warp you to my completed laser installation.
Oh, there's going to be like a special final stage? Alright, I wasn't expecting this, but yeah, let's do it. Or is it just going to be some kind of scene? I don't really know. Looks like probably just a cutscene.
Already, Crash. Would you like to do the honors?
And there goes the second Cortex installation, just up in flames in as many games. Poor guy. And that effectively marks the end of Cortex's time as an actual, like, serious, credible threat in the main series, I want to say. We touched on this before, but he becomes relegated essentially to a comic relief role. Starting, I want to say, in Crash 3, where two other villains kind of, well, technically work with him, but really steal the show. But real quick, before we carry on over to Crash 3 now, since we've beaten the second game, and wow, what an easy final boss after everything else we had to go through, I have to say, in most ways, it is a marked improvement over the first, which already was a very solid proof of concept. The gameplay and maneuvers felt a bit smoother, honestly, and with the addition of things like crawling, sliding, and of course the slide jump. The body slam as well. The gameplay, the core gameplay feels a lot more well-rounded. You're not just doing the same exact 2 or 3 things over and over again. You've got a slightly larger toolkit and more puzzles and more diverse enemies that can only be defeated with certain maneuvers than to use them on. So there's a small but still significant layer of depth that's been added to the core gameplay. Love the addition, as I said, of secondary gems. Didn't do the time trial, so can't really comment on those. The inclusion, the gradual inclusion, this will continue later in the series, of stages based entirely around these sort of alternate control schemes or strictly non-platforming areas, which were present very briefly in the first game. There was like the prototypical chase stages and a hog run that worked very similarly to the polar bear like wrangling missions. But here we've got like the bear riding that appears in at least 3 or 4 different stages. Chase sequences, I think there are 3, maybe 4. We have the jetpack, which is used for 2 stages and a boss, and I'm sure I'm missing one or another. Oh, yeah, there's the cool little burrowing mechanic that gets used in a couple stages in the 4th world. So there's a lot more diversity present here, and that really does help keep things fresh, especially when you have to go through some stages over and over and over and over and over, and God almighty, I hated Cold Hard Crash, in order to really complete the game. Now, that said, I feel that on the whole, where the game could use the most work is like a consistency in overall design and difficulty, because here's the thing. This game, if we were just playing through it, start to finish, trying to do all the content, or beat all the levels, we didn't care about getting every gem as soon as we possibly could, it's leagues easier than Crash 1. It's fair, it's very even-handed, the difficulty gradually increases as you progress through the game, proportionate to your progress through, like, the hub world. That's just as it should be. But some of these gem challenges are home to really, really uneven difficulty. Some of them, as late as the 5th world, were insanely easy, like straightforward to get, and some, as we've seen, are ridiculously difficult. And I don't think either of those are necessarily a bad thing, but seeing, like, constant, erratic, seemingly senseless fluctuation between the two, even within the same hub world that you should be able to access, you know, roughly at the same time, provided one isn't locked off with, like, a colored gem that you need to get later on, which would justify an increased difficulty. It just feels very, very kind of uneven. But again, by and large, a significant improvement. This game, again, didn't feel quite so sadistic in its design as Crash 1 did in those last two worlds, where they would give you, like, the hardest levels they could design and actually get into the game. Remember, Stormy Ascent was cut for being too difficult. And then say, yeah, now do all this in one life without making a single mistake, or you don't get your color gem you need to really beat the game. It's like, God. Nothing quite so drastic here. There were just a couple of really, really challenging bits that involved backtracking, and therefore the unorthodox navigation of stages that are designed to be tackled in a very linear, unidirectional way. Only other real room for improvement I can see that's, like, glaring, and not talking about, like, oh, well, what would I like this game to be, but based on what the game intended to be and what it did, what was executed kind of less dexterously. The bosses felt like solid, perfectly solid, but as somebody who really loves a good boss fight, they could use a bit of polish, especially the Komodo Bros and Cortex, because while the others, barring Engine, who was easily, like, far and away the best boss in the entire game, were very serviceable for what they were. Tiny, Ripperoo, they were alright. Engine was fantastic. But the Komodo Bros and Cortex were both way too easy and felt somewhat underdeveloped. Like with Cortex, you could have done something similar to, and I know this predated this game, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus did for its final boss with Clockwork, where Crash is maybe on, or using the jetpack, but has a projectile weapon launching Wumpa Fruit, similar to what he used in the Engine fight, and you have to take down Cortex either in the flesh or piloting some kind, maybe just destroy the Cortex Vortex itself or its external defenses or something to power it down. Just give us something that feels a bit more climactic than that. But still, very good game. I'm impressed. It's a marked improvement over the first one, and I'm really excited to dig into Crash 3 with all of you. Now, we did save our progress, right? Yes, we did. Well, with that said, let's tuck into Crash 3, typically considered to be the best of the original trilogy, and the one I know the least about, save, recurring villain Dingodile makes his first appearance as a boss in that game, and my personal favorite of Cortex's little crew, Dr. Nefarious Tropy, who has a really cool character design and kind of manner about him compared to the rest of Cortex's crew, does as well. Oh, yeah, and lest I forget, that villain that effectively usurps Cortex's role as the serious threat to Crash, Uka Uka, a long-imprisoned, like, indigenous deity embodied in a mask very similar to and kind of the distaffed counterpart of Aku Aku, who we should see very soon, or very early in the game. Now, Warped also has this great time travel theme, meaning the actual aesthetic themes of the levels we explore are going to be way more varied, and they're going to have a lot more fun with them than the first two games did, I think. Oh yeah, second game also had increased variety of level themes. Slightly, and the ones it did have were pretty well executed, barring maybe the ice stages. Oh, here we go.
Free at last.
Oh, look. They've adopted the polar bear. So cute.
Uka Uka is free? No, it cannot be. Evil, great evil has come.
Aku Aku has just this wonderfully sonorous, like,
None have dared fail
very impressive voice.
Uka even once. But you, Cortex, you have failed me twice.
Great Uka Uka! It was that infernal Bandicoot!
From deep inside my deadly prison, I sent you simple instructions to follow. But you lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience. There is now no other power source left on this planet.
I know we've had a few unfortunate setbacks.
And failed. But since your bumbling has managed to set me free, I am feeling generous. There is still a way to amass the power needed to enslave this miserable planet. And this time, the great Uka Uka will make sure that you do it right.
There's Entropy.
After many eons, my
What a great design.
brother
Uka Uka has been freed from his underground prison. Long ago, I locked him there to protect the world from his malice. Now, free once again, he must be stopped. Children, Uka Uka and Cortex plan to use this time-twisting machine to gather crystals that lay scattered across time. I have brought you here to recover the crystals before they do. To open the time portal, simply stand on a button and then jump into the portal. Good luck.
Oh, exciting stuff. Yes, so, ladies and gents, welcome to the Time Twister. We can already see that we're going to be going up against Uka Uka and Tropy, largely, in this particular game, with Cortex kind of taking a subservient role. Whoa, whoa, what's this? Ah, it's the special DLC stage that we're staying far, far away from for now, but God almighty, look at this area design. Everything looks so sleek and neon, and oh, it's just a beautiful little, like, futuristic environment there. But we've been brought to our new hub world, the Time Twister, which has a bit more personality than previous hubs did. Now, you may notice that when we first spawned in, behind one of these crumbling brick walls lies, like, kind of a hidden warp pedestal, or transport pedestal, a bit like that. And, hold on, let's see if we can control Coco, because I would rather play as just about anything other than the Durstacoot in this form. Yes, I do. There we go. And you can see we already have distinct themes present in each, like, little spoke radiating out from the central wheel. We've got generic medieval Europe. We've got what appears to be, like, Moorish Spain, or like high or late Middle Ages Arabia. Feudal Japan. Well, Japan or China, really. Actually, looks more Chinese to me, I think. Ancient Egypt. And the beautiful, neon, totally not Bioshock future. Well, we've got to start by getting medieval on their ass. Welcome, MC2M. Glad to see you, man. We finally made it through Crash 2 and fought what I'm actually thinking now may be the easiest boss in the entire game, and are ready to tuck into this entry, which I'm really looking forward to. So it looks like our boss here is going to be Tiny the Tiger once again, this time as a gladiator of some merit. We've got crystals again, as well as just the standard gems. And I do think it's cool now that we get to see collectibles as, like, on, like, a little scoreboard off to the side, what we have and what the enemy has. So let's jump right in, literally, to Toad Village. Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Yeah, and we also have the revelation that Cortex has been working for an ancient, like, long-imprisoned indigenous deity this entire time, which, like, what? Oh, man, look at this, though. Shoot, this environment's gorgeous. You... Damn it, chicken. Okay, you can't do anything with it. Just checking. Gotta make sure we get those boxes now. Oh, look at the little Cortex goat. Oh, this game is going to be so charming. And you know the best part? There's no cold hard crash here. Everything is beautiful. Music's incredible as well. Oh, and that little intro cutscene that showed, really probably to mask some loading, featuring Cortex and Uka Uka, would become kind of a recurring theme in the series from this point on. It doesn't matter that we didn't get anything from the roulette box, we still smashed it. Because I remember in the Wrath of Cortex, these different elemental spirits that served as, like, the antagonists of each world would star in these similar little vignettes. Oh, damn. Before certain stages. Speaking of, that game's voice cast was incredible. Wrath of Cortex specifically. Like, 2 of the 4 elemental spirits were voiced by Mark Hamill and R. Lee Ermey. Like, what? Our first bonus stage, let's see what we got. Love seeing the, like, tiny little scientist trying to heft around this Vi Honda, too. We unlocked the Taking the Scenic Route trophy, the, I guess, obligatory trophy for finding ourselves a nice bonus route. There we have it. Nice and simple. Okay. So I'm curious to see if all of the stages in a given time period's little hub world will conform to that one theme, or if there will be some diversity therein. It'd be nice if, say, this world stages all handled a, like, general, or explored different facets of, like, a generic, like, Western European medieval setting. Like, you know, say, one stage is a castle town, one is a wizard's tower, what else could we do? Like one taking place in the, or below the deck of a longship or something. Just a lot of fun little things you could do with that, while adhering to a very broad aesthetic theme. Is it possible that we'll actually get all the boxes this time around? Oh, Crystal, thank you. Thank you for clearing the way, Mr. Goat. Oh, so we can't jump on the goat at all, even if we miss its horns. Okay. And our gym. Right on. NC2M says that made me think of Hand of Fate 2. What, in particular? The... Oh. All the locals are in that vein. Yeah, kind of. Oh, all the locales are in that vein. Yes, exactly. Maybe this world does something similar, but hey, we got ourselves a gem and a crystal. Tiny can keep those relics, because I want nothing to do with them. But, as I mentioned earlier, just speaking of, like, the aesthetics of this game and how great it looks. Oh, we have an underwater stage. Interesting. Oh, no. Durstacoot in control. I, did see, like, the phenomenal trailer for, Crash 4. And it looks like not only is it going to be a return to form for the series, but it's going to have a remarkable amount of content and, well, a ton of different ways to approach certain situations. Stages look more dynamic, like they have greater depth and more varied design. You can play as, based on the trailer, 3 different characters, each with their own playstyles. So, Crash, Coco, and I think for the second time in a mainline entry, Dr. Cortex, who has his own very distinct style of gameplay. It looks like it's going to be a hell of a fun time, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I'm surprised to say the aquatic controls are really smooth and actually pretty tight. Good stuff. lot of boxes to collect here. Like, a lot. Come on, there we go. There we go. Aha! Well, I'm sure the box wasn't really hidden, and I should have just been able to see it on my way down, but I'm oblivious, so... Whoa, 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 whoa! 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 That is a lot of boxes. Did we get everything? Looks like it. Now this stuff, with all of, like, the, like, elegant embellishments on the sides of the tunnel, the use of a lot of gilt metals, this screams Entropy's stuff to me. His style, as he, like most of our antagonists that aren't just mutated animals, is a scientist, or an inventor at least, and most of his stuff I know from later games tends to be a little bit more elegant than Cortex's. Oh no, was I supposed to smash that red coral earlier in the stage? Oh no. Well, we'll find out. Crash is packing heat now. Or maybe you can only break the coral with the missiles. Extra life, thank you. MC2M says elegance in the technology. Yeah, if you noticed, like in Crash 1 and 2, a lot of Cortex's stuff is functional, but looks aesthetically very kind of either rudimentary or even slapdash. And that does a really good job of communicating his character. He's got specialized, like, field-based intelligence, but is far from the most competent person in the world. And someone like Tropy, for instance, presented here as a more serious threat, is, or is given, like, an aesthetic sense to kind of match that. Something a bit more serious. Oh! Okay, good, good. We got all the boxes. And, of course, the gem. MC2M says scientist versus businessman. Well, it's more like, oh, we did not get the crystal. Whoops. Let's try that again. But hey, this time we only got to look out for one thing. Cortex is a rather incompetent scientist from the present, and Tropy is an extremely elegant, like, very, very astute scientist from the far future. And yeah, we cannot break the red coral on our own. Good to know. Oof. Because I promise you, this will not be our only water level. But these levels, if this first one's any indication, are gonna be quite a lot of fun. MC2M says, Despicable Me comes to mind from that. Yeah, I guess... Yeah, that's a pretty solid comparison to make. Yeah, Gru being a terrible supervillain, and some of his nemeses, like, really being, in addition to, like, fairly competent, having, like, this ostensibly great sense of aesthetic style and vision. Hey Ben, good to see you, man. I'm doing all right. How are you? You missed a hell of a stream last night. Oh, did I see the news about Chris Avallone? Yeah. God almighty, I love his writing, and to find out that someone like that is, by all indication, just such a huge piece of shit, it's rough news, really. Right now, though, I'm just so glad that the folks who experienced all of that are being heard and hopefully given the kind of assistance and resources they need. All I know is we've got so many talented writers in the world of, modern games, and we just keep getting more and more every year. We definitely don't need to tolerate anybody like that, regardless of their resume. Oh, Ben, don't worry about it. Just glad you're here. One of the VODs for Crash 1 has, for whatever reason, 6 minutes out of a good 10 hours of gameplay total for that game that were muted because, like, a copyright bot recognized, 6 minutes, no, something like 3 minutes of the soundtrack of one of the game's levels and thought somehow I was using it in a way that violated copyright or fair use. So you'll miss those great 5 minutes of my biting commentary out of all those hours. But yes, please feel free to check up on the VODs. Oh, and this stage, Orient Express, I believe, was originally only playable as Coco and may remain so. This might be one of the, yeah, it's going to be the successor to the Boar/Polar Bear stages. And we're on the Great Wall of China. Well, I absolutely adore Chinese culture and history, so this ought to be fun. Did I say fun? I meant nerve-wracking. So Cortex, instead of collecting crystals from around the world, has his scientists working to construct the Great Wall of China. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful, though. Oh, damn, missed a life. We're gonna have to, yep. These always take a little bit of learning, but God, they're great fun. Mm-hmm. There we go. And there we don't go. And there we don't go again. That's alright. Nobody watches this channel for top tier performance. Just the opposite. Okay. Give me that crystal. Yeah. I hope we get to explore this level theme on foot at some point. Ah, cripes. Oh no. They act as springboards. Okay, I thought there was a chance that we could just crush them flat from behind the mantlets, but no such luck. So these are... about on par with the polar bear stages from Crash 2 in terms of difficulty. Except for that one box that can go straight to hell. So, the scientists here are wearing an extremely loose interpretation of, like, Warring States era Chinese armor, like a dyed scale mail. Huh? No. Where on Earth were the boxes we missed? Ben says the third of these games was my favorite. Yeah, this is my first time playing the third, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Though that's one we'll have to go back for the gem on. No big deal. And MC Tomb says I'll just wait until the justice system has done its job. Won't take a position on that story. Something similar happened with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Turned out the allegations were false, making me wait a year for Cosmos Season 2. Never actually seen Cosmos, either version. I know it's a really well-respected series. It's just not my jam. The Boneyard. So is this going to be like prehistoric?
And Cortex want tiny crystals and bring them to big Colosseum in Rome. Crash! Leave them for Tiny, or Crash get crushed!
How charming. Okay, so we need to find the red gem at some point to unlock what... Oh, this is a chase stage. This is a prehistoric chase stage. Okay. I'm digging it. As we all know, massive dinosaurs. Historically, one of the first things we learned about them was that they are terrified of slight drops. Oh, and it transitions into a standard stage here on. Excellent. Wrath of Cortex did something similar. Adds a bit more dynamism to the stages. I appreciate that. Now, we're not going to be able to get all of the, well, we might be able to get all the boxes here if this stage does what some of them in Crash 2 did, and has a colored gem platform take you to a special path that doesn't contain any boxes, but has a special gem waiting at the end of it. Oh, I see you. There's our red gem platform. I don't know what Cortex and Uka Uka are paying all of these scientists for their dedication, but I can tell you, given the wide range of jobs they've had to learn to perform just to fight these weird, kind of disgusting anthropomorphic marsupials, it ain't enough. Well, I mean, Coco looks like a standard platformer protagonist. Crash is, however, and will forever be the Durstacoot in my mind. There we are. Okay, I see what we want to do. One more. Oh, Ben asked, my chat froze up and I had to dip out. Did anyone explain what controversy you were talking about? Yeah, the renowned video game writer and story consultant Chris Avallone, who worked on, I think, everything from one of the Baldur's Gate games to, I think he worked on Fallout New Vegas, consulted for Pathfinder Kingmaker, and like just a lot of big, really important story and character-driven RPGs, has been the recipient of like really serious and quite a few allegations of, like, unwanted sexual advances or, like, groping and things like that. And there's way more comprehensive takes on this you can find, but all I will say is the evidence is pretty damn voluminous. Based on what little I saw from Avalon himself, he's not exactly denying what took place, just denying the nature of it, I think. Me Too thing. Yeah, basically. I'm trying to think, what's the most recent, like, really big name thing he worked on? He might have done some work on that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game. You know, the actually decent single-player Star Wars game that EA had to put out to ease some of the ill will after the Battlefront 2 debacle. It is a really good game, for the record. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's the weeds that'll slow us down there. I gotcha. Ooh, the timing here, is it? Yeah. Yeah, he'll take care of those for us. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is harder. Oh, we've got some nitro here. Oh, really now? And are we seriously about to be one box short again? Okay. Good. Nope, that's all of them. Yes. So all we need now is the red gem, and we're good to go. That was a very nice little stage. Glad to see they've introduced some additional dynamism to chase stages. MC Tomb says, don't forget that people tend to apologize under pressure, so it's hard to take his Twitter replies with any credibility. Well, there's something to that, but there's also the fact that if you were accused of something particularly heinous, or at least if I was, or you were, your initial response usually is something to the effect of, there's absolutely no way I would do that, or I find that reprehensible, or something like that. And also, there's a lot of allegations, and none of them of anything that sound egregious or ridiculously out of character, given that, much as I hate to say it, we are talking the games industry, and an industry not exactly known for treating or conceiving female employees, studio leads, or all that very well. But that's neither here nor there. That's just, you know, my 2 cents. So we've got a legitimate water ski level as Coco now, not riding one of those weird jet board things that Crash used in the last game, and well, this is absolutely beautiful. And of course, the lab assistants, dutiful as ever, are pirates in this stage. I love how these guys now are present all over the place, and they've got different attire and roles every single time. That's great. And you're given enough leeway to get all your boxes. Whoo! It's a little slippery, like the controls for this, but not excessively so. Okay, yeah, that one's being guarded by a bomb. But looks like we're already closing in on the exit. And yet again, this is our third stage in a row where we get a nice little introduction to a divergent style of gameplay. And yeah, I think our portal's going to be over there near the middle of the little atoll. Well, sorry, not atoll. More like baby archipelago. Alright, we got everything there. Is that everything? Yeah! Nice! We're making good progress. And it's already time to take on Tiny, I think. In the Coliseum. And yeah, you'll see all of our stage triggers have been replaced with a single button displaying Tiny's beautiful mug. Let's do this, Tiny Tiger, in a Roman Colosseum. So we're going even farther back in time. And, oh no, it's the Durstacoot.
Crash! Go! Stole the pretty crystals! Tiny, take them back in Gladiator Arena!
Oh, there's Emperor Cortex, still wearing his rubber gloves. That's adorable. And, of course, all of our spectators are those poor scientists. I love everything about Tiny's design, save the oversized sneakers. It just doesn't work. Okay, let's do this. I think I may have seen a bit of this a very long time ago. Okay, so he's kind of doing a... Oh, is that it? Alright, hey, not complaining. Oh no, there's more. Oh lord, is there more. Oh, you can't even dodge to the side. You've got to run through the gaps in the lines. Alright, this is good now. This is a bit more robust than the bosses from the first two games already. Yeah, this is where it's at. What on... Oh, no you didn't. So not only can you not, like, jump diagonally over them, they've got a pretty good range on either side of them. Not sure how I feel about those hitboxes on the lions. It should be like a kill box directly in front of them. But whatever. It's still... Okay, see, like that right there I don't get at all. Because I could jump straight over the first wave, but not the second. Tiny himself is no problem at all. Oh, I can just kick their ass. Alright. Well, this became trivial. should have known. When in doubt, no matter how improbable it may appear, the answer is always spin. Love the crowd doing the wave. It's brilliant. Even the boss arenas in this game have a lot of personality. I love it. Well, thanks for at least giving us a proper challenge there, Tiny. We got the Tiny Trounced trophy, as well as our first character upgrade. For a more powerful belly flop, press the X button to jump, and then press the circle button at the top of the jump. Okay, so this sends out some kind of shockwave, yeah. There's a mild shockwave, and we can probably break some other stuff. MC Tomb says, I love the Lion King take on this game. You know, that was really solid. Nice and robust, more complex, good stuff.
By defeating Tiny, you have unlocked the gate to the next time travel area. Go back to the center of this time twister and save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that the gate to the second time travel area is now open.
So our next hub world should be Arabia. Looking forward to this one because I love... Ben says, so, obligatory question time. Okay, let's analyze this after I save really quickly. Crash actually has a lot to do with, or rather, it's easy to read what lore exists for this trilogy through the lens of colonialism and imperialism, because at least with the plot introduced in the first game, with Dr. Cortex... In fact, hold on, let me explain this in detail. Dr. Cortex and his workforce, which includes both legitimate scientific and openly criminal elements, as evidenced by Pinstripe Potteroos' employment of a, like, marsupial mafia, with their incursion into and rapid transformation of the, like, Wumpa Archipelago, or wherever this game takes place. It's supposed to be, like, an analog for, like, East African or Oceanic islands. They take the indigenous wildlife, right? So local species that are supposed to be exotic and you can't find anywhere else, abduct a bunch of them, and then force them to undergo a battery of really invasive transformative processes with the goal of making them more intelligent, making them more capable, making them better, exactly fitting the mold that they, the outsiders, have designed for them. We're going to make you proper. But when some of them, like Crash, don't follow orders, don't obey, and aren't co-opted then by this invasive and particularly environmentally destructive cabal that Cortex is leading, even with the aid of kind of an exiled indigenous leader in the form of Uka Uka, seeking to usurp the local power structure, those improved creatures, those that have been uplifted, that have turned the methods and the abilities of the Imperials back on them, are branded as defective, as something to be eliminated from society, something that is subversive and that is flawed and that doesn't properly understand what was expected of them. They didn't turn out right. And yeah, that's the first game actually has some pretty heavy implications if you want to read it from a post-colonial perspective, because that's what my job is now, I guess. The later entries have significantly less of that. With, for instance, I guess you could say Tropy is something of an analog or a symbol of unrestrained development and, like, aggressive modernization. Ben says, I feel like you'd have fun stuff to say about Mega Man 2. Depends on which Mega Man timeline you're talking about, but yeah, if I thought about it. Okay, so here, we're going to be fighting one of the co-opted Indigenes, Dingodile, who is just a darling character I adore, in what appears to be another medieval stage. Oh, Zero, oh god, yeah. I actually got the... Oh.
Continue to be a thorn in our side.
Who? What? Where was I? Oh, Tiny was a good fellow. He hated everyone and everything, but a good heart nonetheless. Please be more reasonable with my minions next time.
Did we kill Tiny? Is that... Oh man, I'm right there with you, Ben. I absolutely adore the Zero series, and in fact, it's been ages since I played them, but I got in and I'm waiting to stream them. The Zero and ZX collection that was released, well, on all major platforms, but I got it on Switch not long ago. So, by the way, you ever want to borrow them and have a go, you're certainly welcome to. Oh, quite a lot of boxes here. Oh, we've got wizard scientists now. Oh. There we go. ZX was good too. I never actually played. I think I had or borrowed a friend's copy of ZX for a very brief period when I was younger, but I never really got into it. I'm wanting to, though. That's why I've got the, that's largely why I got the collection. That, and to be able to play the Zero series especially. Oh god, 2 through 4 are fantastic. The first game's solid, but those last 3 are just, god almighty, they do so much with that concept, it's brilliant. I was also a big fan of the Battle Network and Star Force series for its lore and world building. MC2M says, and when wizards stay up late, new worlds are born. These guys, the wizards would actually reappear, I think, in a different... oh, the first game's pretty hard? Yes, it is. Well, a lot of them are difficult. I think it was... Is it the second game where you have to fight the Guardians of Neo Arcadia in, like, these ridiculous vehicle forms? Well, I should say enhanced forms, because they're not all vehicular. I think... Ben says 2 is my favorite story, 3 was the only one I finished to completion. I really dug 3 overall. It might be my favorite. Now, I do think it would be a good idea if the first stage in each hub world actually reflected the theme of that hub world. Just the first one, to, like, introduce you to that aesthetic theme. For instance, when I'm heading into the Arabian-themed level hub, why on earth do you send me straight back to the Western European medieval-themed, like, sort of tile set? Not only have we been here, but this is not at all what you would expect. Still a good level, by the way, though. Nothing against the design here. Then says, by to completion, I mean all Cyber Elves collectibles, etc. I don't know that I completed any of them. I was kind of young when I played through at least the first 2. I think I went back for the 3rd and 4th later. But, yeah, that I could attest that does take dedication. There's a lot to those games, especially for, like, at least in the case of the first Zero, a very early Game Boy Advance title. I wish they would give the X and Zero series a bit more love, given Capcom's sudden willingness to resurrect, like, the traditional, like, very simple side-scrolling Mega Man games. I don't know why everybody's favoring those so strongly. Oh, hell, we missed a box. Probably early on. Right? No. So it's off screen somewhere. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we're going to have to try that again. No matter though, because deaths in bonus stages don't count, as we have to remind ourselves time and again. It's not cold hard crash, so I'm not upset. I think I could take anything after having to get the gem, the all-box gem in cold hard crash. I feel like nothing can get to me now. The path to true enlightenment is throwing a cartoon character down a bottomless pit in an ice cave over and over and over again. I think this game might just have the best soundtrack out of all three so far as well. That's how you do it. Good stuff, good stuff. 15 boxes to go. MC2M says old design is best design till it is not. And Ben says absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm digging this. I can quite easily see why this is typically held to be the best in the original trilogy. And I'm so psyched for the fourth, man. So psyched. Now that I've really gotten a chance to get my hands into this series. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Ben says fantastic music. It really is. Fourth. Yeah, no, did you not know? They announced a fourth Crash, a proper Crash, not like Wrath of Cortex, very recently, that's going to be released in October, that apparently features a plethora of brand new worlds, exploration, and gameplay in the style of the original trilogy, and distinct gameplay styles, multiple, for Crash, Coco, and even Dr. Cortex. It looks really good. I believe the game is called, in a reference to how long it's taken, It's About Time. It's also a time travel adventure. Oh, so we've got the green-colored gem here, and we're actually going to Arabia. Perfect. Oh, yeah, I'm excited. Ooh, a secret route. Oh, that brings back bad memories. I absolutely love the art and architecture of, like, medieval Arabia, though, so I'm really gonna dig these stages. Okay, so we've got some kind of mystic. Correction, had some kind of mystic. Oh, it's more of these little overhand climbing sections, trellises. Don't know if we can attack the scorpions, not super stoked to find out. Now, what do you want about that secret route? Oh, hello. Amusing. What do you want about that secret route they mentioned is in another stage, and we have to come back here later on to get our green gem. Because Crash. Alright. So far, so good. We should be hearing from Dingodile after the third stage. No. Well, we're gonna have to try that again. Did you see the roulette box eventually turned into an unbreakable iron block, so we're going to have to hustle. To get to that one particular box, anyway. There we go. Gotta keep that in mind in future. Okay. Well, I see a bonus here, but a bonus does not a secret route make. Secret route's almost certainly going to be in a different stage, if Crash 2 is any indication. Oh no. Oh yes. Very good. Very good. Good. Better than good. Perfect. Perfect. I feel like I'm in Bargain Basement Agrabah right now, and I kinda love it. Oh! Oh, that's what the jar does. You have to slide into them. Once you increase their power tenfold by throwing a clay pot over their head. I see. Yeah, no. Should have slid into the one crate. Unless, wait. Shockwave. There we go. Now we're thinking ahead. We're thinking with our head. Oh, time to head to Egypt and steal some treasure from Pharaoh Cortex, who I guess has just taken over all the time.
Mate, Dingodile's the name, and Uka and Cortex gave me orders to bring the crystals to them during the Ice Ages. So give me the goods and shove off, or I'll roast yous.
He's a charming fella. Okay, so this stage has a purple gem path hidden away somewhere. Alright. Okay, let's head right on in. I'm also a huge fan of Egyptian art and history, because of course I am. So I should really dig the style of this stage, and I do. Check it out, we've even got the ubiquitous lab assistants depicted in the sort of reliefs on the wall, as well as possibly Dingodile? Be really cool if that was. MC2M says, asking because Beyond Good and Evil had orbs locked behind races. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember that game's races, or the races I experienced anyway, being ridiculously hard, though. I don't know if they have a reputation for being such. Ben says, Dingodile definitely seems to have colonial or indigenous implications. He does. And it's also worth noting that I'm an absolute sucker and should have known better about that timing. I remember him consistently being portrayed as like the most hostile of Cortex's crew in later games, which are the only games I really played prior to tucking into the remaster trilogy. Oh, wait, why am I still playing as the Dursticoot? This should be Coco's time to shine. Okay, now wait for it. There we are. So we don't want to touch on or make contact with any of the scarab tiles, I'm assuming. Bonus stage, yes please. MC2M says, nah, they're decent races. Yeah, that's what I remember. I also remember the hovercraft being a lot of fun to play around with and upgrade. Hey, just barely made it, but ain't that the way I manage everything in these streams? Just barely. Got all our boxes, there we go. Nice. So I can tell you that, like, on these columns, now I could be wrong about this, they do seem to use some, or at least, like, lightly modified actual hieroglyphic letters, but most of it does not conform to, like, actual ancient Egyptian writing systems. Ben says, when I was a kid, I used to think he was collecting apples. You know what? I think I did too, until I want to say it might have been one of the Game Boy games, or Twin Sanity made it explicit that no, these are something called Woompa fruit. And they're, like, basically knockoff bargain brand mangoes. Oh, we can't do anything to you, can we? Alright. I see the gimmick here. Are mangoes trademarked? No, but they seem to be very deliberate mango XPs for whatever reason. Maybe they thought having like a fictional fruit that was very closely linked with the little island chain they had created would flesh out the very detailed lore of Crash Bandicoot. I say only half-jokingly. Oh, it's one of these. Well, hold on. That is a purple gem path. If you couldn't tell. But we obviously want the Uka Uka mask. Or Aku Aku, sorry. So, those mud paths are a little slick. Thankfully, they're nowhere near as tractionless as the ice stages in Crash 2 were. I'm not entirely sure what figure this is supposed to be over on the left side here. Looks like it could be a depiction of Sekhmet, goddess of, I want to say, the desert, sun, big cats, and war. Could also be Bastet, another cat goddess. The ancient Egyptian pantheon had a lot of feline deities. So we don't want to break any of those beams of sunlight, I'm assuming. Ben says, I love this music. Oh, so do I. Very catchy. I'll need to look into the composers that worked on both the original games and the remasters. Or remakes to see what else they've put their name to. Oh, yeah, ancient Egyptian flamethrowers. Always loved reading about those. That's one way to deal with it. So what did that do? Anything? We might just have to come back later for the gems here. Remember, we are going to gain new traversal abilities. Yeah, and some of those boxes are definitely going to be on the purple gem path, then. Already almost through our second hub world. There we go. Oh, it's another Tiger Run already. Because I'm so good at these. Oh, but if we hold down run, we can actually break through some things. Alright. Didn't catch that the first time around. So about as many boxes as the first stage. Ah. Crap. Okay. So clearly, she cannot smash through the mantlets. We do just have to avoid those if we want to smash the boxes. Which of course we do. Because that's what this series is all about. One hyper-intelligent mammal's quest to wreak bloody vengeance against, I don't know, like simple wood-based storage. Oh. Jesus. Oh. Okay, yeah, there we go. These are always a little tricky. They're good fun, though. Just tricky if you want those gems. There it is. Now, I guess not so fun fact, the Great Wall of China, really a series of defensive fortifications that were only lightly related or connected at some points, and I think in some points originally not connected whatsoever, was an insanely costly project in terms of human lives. Scores, and I mean scores of workers died working on this thing. Oh, yeah, we're just supposed to follow the guy with the buckets. Gotcha. MC Tomb says, death to the oppressors. Who are the oppressors? Yes. We're breaking boxes because it's a platformer, I guess, and that's what you do in platformers. Hell. Isn't that the way it is? It is. Oh! Didn't see that. Oh, about workers dying, yeah. Well, when we're talking old school projects like this, this scale, yeah, absolutely. Especially when you consider that what we collectively refer to as the Great Wall was assembled across literal centuries. So close, so close. We're almost there. We are almost there. Damn it all. Even gives me the crystal, but... I think we're getting all the boxes, though. Yeah, this is it. Thank you. MC2 says, Trump probably visited China and thought that, yes, he wanted a wall like that. Actually, well, it's funny because on the one hand, the Great Wall repeatedly failed to keep out Mongolian incursions. Sometimes they would just literally go around it. But also, there is footage of President Trump talking through translator, obviously, with President Xi Jinping of China. And he's saying something along the lines of, you know, I was told that, like, China is, like, this is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. And the incredulous president of China, not believing he's having to say this, is like, yeah, about, like, you know, such and such thousand years. And he said, yeah, not as old as Egypt. Egypt was the first. And then, like, China. Yes. It's one of the most baffling interactions between world leaders, and one of the saddest I think I've ever seen. Yes, Don, China is very old. Alright, let's fight Dingodile in the Arctic, apparently. As the Durstacoot.
Right. Now you've gone and done it. Them crystals are mine.
I've got really high hopes after the Tiny fight. Oh god, it's these guys again. Yeah, give it to him, Dingodile. Okay. Can we destroy these? No. Oh! I have the best luck when it comes to games. I have the very best luck. Okay, so he's going to try to lead us. Oh, no, gotta get out, gotta get out! Oh! Okay. This is tricky, but fun. Okay, so he launches these projectiles. You dodge the projectiles. You lead his shot, which will create gaps in the ice wall that you then have to escape from and jump over a shockwave from the ensuing detonation. Ooh. And he is just completely destroying his own defenses. Okay.
No worries. You'll soon be
That's really good. Oh! And the penguin claims the victory, not us. The trophy's even named Penta's Revenge. I'll get you one of these days, you little so-and-so. Ben says no, he was watching dinosaurs and he saw the episode where they were building a wall to keep out forelegs and didn't get the joke. Probably. I know that, like, his favorite film of all time is, like, a classic cheesy action movie, or something like Bloodsport or that, but specifically with all of the dialogue-heavy bits fast-forwarded through. That is on record, just, like, endless, over-the-top 80s violence. Oh, we got a double jump. That's gonna be useful. And Dingodile, high-energy, frantic little fight. I liked it. Liked it quite a lot. Oh, check that out. You know that's going to open the way for even more difficult platform runs in the future. One of which, added specifically for the remaster, or remake, I keep saying remaster, I'm sorry, is apparently the most difficult stage in the entire trilogy. Now, with that out of the way, we get to move on to China. Very nice. So who's gonna be in charge here? I know we've got Engine and Entropy, then just Cortex, I suppose? Oh, Entropy himself is third. Alright. Well, we will take this on, ladies and gents, after a quick 5-minute break. If you'll give me just a bit of time, we will dive back in and attempt to make some headway into our third world before, hopefully, maybe completing it before the night's out? We'll see. So, back in 5, thank you so much for your patience, and thank you all for dropping by the stream tonight. I'm glad to have you all here. Alright, we are back. Thank you for your patience throughout our little break. Ben says you can go with the quest in a hub in any order if you didn't know. Oh yeah, no, I'm aware. It just doesn't make much difference to me what order we tackle these suckers in, so I'll just progress in the order I guess the designers kind of wanted you to experience them in, if they had any real preference. So is this going to be another chase stage, or...
Well, haven't we gotten far for a pair of fuzzy marsupials? I am Dr. Nefarious Tropy, master of time and the creator of the very time twister machine you see before you. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex have sent me to end this little charade. So you won't be leaving my area with the crystals. I swear it.
Okay. So we need to earn the yellow gem elsewhere in order to... Okay. No, this does look like it's going to be, at least in the beginning, a straightforward stage. Then says you mentioned wanting to do the Arabian stage at the beginning of the Arabian hub. Oh, okay. No, I was thinking, like, in terms of order presentation, why the devs wouldn't then place an Arabian theme stage at the very beginning of that hub's numerical order. It's a very, very minor complaint, the likes of which I have many because I'm fussy. So let's progress on and take down whatever these horrifying things are. And make healthy use of that new double jump ability. That's where our gem platform will be once we actually access it. So this is not like Crash 2 where all of your colored gems are available, or most of them are available pretty early on. Okay, what is this horrible thing? Oh. Oh, it is something I can ride. Hello, buddy. You give us a very, very floaty jump. This is going to be useful, no doubt. I kind of love their design. They're adorable creatures, unlike those fish things. This is gonna turn into some kind of chase stage, isn't it? I can tell since we're getting the crystal quite early on. Okay, what are we dealing with here? The earlier entries in the trilogy have made me paranoid about, like, hidden platforms, or, sorry, boxes just off camera. Alright, how many boxes are we looking at here? Oh, a pretty healthy number. Okay, so it doesn't look like you can perform the body slam after a double jump. Good to know, I suppose. Oh, so this acts sort of as an impromptu tutorial for the charged body slam if we haven't performed one as intended. up to this point. That's nice, I suppose. And you're gonna have to use it here to destroy these boxes without also yeeting yourself into the abyss. Straightforward, but fun little digression. Oh yeah, and here comes our chase stage. I see it. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, these are tougher than the chase stages in... Well, definitely Crash 1, because that game had pretty straightforward chase stages, but also maybe Crash 2. It's because I think there's less visual telegraphing for, like, the pools of lava. They're low to the ground, and therefore... Oh, damn. Can't be seen quite as early on. Okay, get ready for it. Lord. Okay, I guess we just need to leave a lot of these boxes for the dino. You were gonna have to get that one with a perfectly executed double jump, I'm guessing. Jesus. This is just gonna be one of those failing to the top moments that we've come to know and love throughout our time with this trilogy. There it is. Oh, but like all the rest of the boxes, we're on the gem path, no doubt, so no dice anyway, that's fine. Yeah, we knew going in there was going to be a lot of backtracking in this one because of those traversal abilities. Oh, another underwater stage, as well as the red gem. Now let's hope we can get this. Backtrack to find the special gem. Oh, good. Y'all know how much I love backtracking. Not a ton of boxes here. Oh, crap. Let's go get our little missile launcher back. I want to get at least one colored gem before we call it for today, which, I mean, we've got quite a bit of time left in today's stream anyway. There we are. We're going to have to just... Yeah, there we go. Nothing over here, is there? Nah. Now do I head back, maybe? Nope, nothing here. Can we go into any of these little craters? Damn. We've got these current generators that I'm fairly certain we want to stay away from. And nothing over there. Alright. Okay, looks like we got everything that we could see down there. This is a nice progression of difficulty from the first stage, or first underwater stage, I should say. That was foolishness on my part. Oh, what? Those are instant death blades, alright. Jeez. Okay, I was not expecting that at all. Because it actually looks like they would be blowing you upwards. Okay, what are we dealing with here? This is where our gym is, probably. Maybe. If they got a checkpoint box, maybe not. No, looks like that's where it would be. Probably going to have to find an exclamation point crate to trigger to spawn a TNT crate there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not sure how I feel about the blades. Seems like they've been given a fairly generous effect radius. Which I mean, like, they're kind of vortex, so I guess that makes sense, but okay. There we go. Thank you. We cannot destroy the blades, but that won't stop me from dreaming. So this is clearly a larger opening than usual, indicating we're intended to travel through here with our lovely missile pod. Oh, you... Oh, but looks like we're still good. Now we just need to backtrack through a whole lot of these things. Which we can't do. Well, it is a colored gem stage. Those tend to be a little tougher, I think. Certainly was the case in Crash 1. Is that the same in Crash 2, would you say? I'm not entirely certain. Okay. Easy. Okay, I think we hit the exclamation point box. MC2M says Crash 2 colored gems felt straightforward for the most part. That's what I thought. And these probably are too, we just don't have all the tools we need to access them yet. Like, we have a hidden path gem, like the red gem from Crash 2. We have, a backtracking-based gem, like, I think there was at least one that required that. Maybe the purple gem? There we go. This opens up, of course, in the tradition of Crash 2, a pretty sizable little appendix to the stage. This is surprisingly tough. Ooh. It is a sea of nitroglycerin. Yeah, so obviously the aquatic controls are suitably a little floaty. No pun intended. But that also is going to make maneuvering in those areas a pain in the ass. Couldn't see myself, oh god. We were doing so well up until this stage. Okay, down and to the side, but we can't see ourselves, so maybe go up first and then... Yeah, there we go. Now it's Nitro and the blades. And it looks like the vortex pulls us closer through the... This is gonna suck. Okay. Gentle. Ooh. That's a lot of boxes. Oh, and they're back. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Both gems and the crystal. A perfect run. Yes. Oh, thank you, God. Nice. Okay, so all those deaths I'd say are worth it for completely clearing a stage like that. Well, clearing it of everything save the relics. This hub's also a bit different because Entropy is speaking to us from the beginning. Normally we'd get another round of taunts from Cortex and Uka. High time. Okay, this is another Arabian stage, so we did the others, right. Oh, and it's got our purple gem. Okay, what do we have to do for the purple gem here?
So, you pesky little rats aren't going to back off, eh? Just you continue to gather crystals and see what I do.
Oh, a death round. What could possibly go wrong? That sounds pretty straightforward. Oh god, they're like throwing Nafatuns. I think that's the name for those, firebombs. Either that or firebomb throwers were called Nafatuns. This is something that as a historian I should probably know. A historian and somebody who's played like Total War, Medieval 2 before. The outfit of the lab assistants on the carpets, right down to the glasses and color scheme, reminds me of a particularly problematic, but insanely, like, catchy European dance act from back in the 90s, I want to say. And since this game was released in 98, I want to say I don't know if that was intentional. MC2M says the stage reminds me of Saban's Is No Good. I'm getting serious Dr. Bombay vibes from the Carpet Riders. A very terrible or hard game. Terrible or hard, or terrible and hard? Oh, got a little too close to him. That one's on me. Oh, but since we died, we have to restart, because remember, it's a death trap, or a death route, that leads to our second colored gem. MC2 says probably both. Yeah, I'm particularly fond of the soundtrack for the Arabian and Egyptian stages. They knock those out of the park. MC2M says, I would be called a madman for having completed that game as a child. Well, give us the deets. Why do so many people say it's both difficult and terrible? Like, what mechanics are, troublesome? No one did? Oh, man, the same could be said of so many old school, like 80s, 90s computer titles. Like the Commodore and Amiga just have diverse libraries of both terrible and awful games that nobody's ever heard of. Or, sorry, terrible and amazing games nobody's ever heard of. Would love to see Aku Aku right about now, you know? So of course we won't. He moves backwards and forwards, and we gotta start the stage over again. Sorry if I'm getting a little heated, but finding two stages like this in a row is not the most pleasant thing in the world. All three games have done that, actually. Had, like, colored gem stages right on top of each other. It's a very obscure 2D scroller with very little in the way of explaining its mechanics. Oh, no. We talking, like, Simon's Quest here, or, well, I would assume worse. There are gems in the first game, Ben asks? Yes, there are. At least in the N-Sane Trilogy remake, there are. There are 6 colored gems, and the condition for earning each of them is exactly the same. They've been intentionally placed in what are typically considered to be the game's most difficult levels, and to earn each, you have to make it through the entire stage, breaking every box, without dying. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the first game is just... I could say from first-hand experience, as somebody who's been wasting their time with video games since they were born, I am awful at the first game because it's so hard, like, so hard. This is still far and away the most accessible of the three, and also I would say the best designed. Jesus Christ! Yeah, no, you should not feel bad for having trouble with the first Crash. I should feel bad for having trouble with this ridiculous enemy placement, though. I'm curious to know if you can spin the scorpions, but something tells me you cannot, because that would make it too easy. Yeah, Crash 1 was an absolute nightmare, but I will still say, the white gem for Cold Hard Crash in the second game is itself more difficult than any individual stage in Crash 1. By a pretty wide margin. It's more fair than many of those stages, admittedly, but it's also, like, 1,000 times harder. Okay. That's the way. Oh. Oh dear, I think I know what we're gonna have to do. Oh, no! We are supposed to spin them, I guess. I thought, like, I would drop down, and then, damn it all, I'm so oblivious. Well, this is gonna be much easier then. Just call me DSB. That's one for the highlight reels. It's like the third time across this trilogy I have neglected to, notice that, oh, yeah, that thing that's killed you like 20 times, you can just spin to get rid of it. Like the shrink ray bullets in the, well, I say bullets, the shrink ray rounds in Crash 2. Apparently spinning just totally nullifies them. Oh, and likewise with the floating cameras in the high-tech stages in Crash 1. Ben says there was something like that in ZX. Really do need to get around to playing that. Back you go. Yeah. Yeah. They function as, like, more robust versions of the shield-wielding scientists from the second game. As in things you can kill you that you could just shoot. Yeah. Yeah, and, like, it's not exactly visually telegraphed that you'd be able to do that. Like, when I see a scorpion on a trellis like this, I think, oh, it's got a sharp stinger and claws, so I probably can't damage it, like, you know, the old video or platformer adage of if it's spiky or sharp, you can't really defeat it just by, jumping on it. So, yeah. Yeah, those are the worst. We've already found a ton of boxes, so that's good, I guess. Now, I'm going to do the bonus round, because bonus stage deaths don't count against, death path appearance conditions. So we should be good no matter what here. Oh, and holy crap, that's a lot of boxes. Oh, and this is so nice. This bonus stage is teaching us how to use our double jump, or reinforcing those skills. That's the second time now we've seen a bonus stage go out of its way to instruct players in the use of their new abilities. I really, really like that. Whew, that was too close for comfort. Oh, this track is amazing. There we are. Where is the death path, though? It's gotta be at, like, the tail end of the stage. Is that it up there? Please, God, let that be it. No. We've got Aku Aku, though. He's gonna come in real handy here. There it is. Okay. We earned the not a scratch, parentheses, give it time trophy. Oh, they know what they're doing. Alright, music just got a little bit more intense / funkier. I approve. Probably should have jumped on that one. Definitely should have jumped on that one. But the platform should still be available. Yes? I think so. Yeah, we're good. Foolishness aside, that one didn't seem too bad so far. Looked pretty long, but most death paths are. Especially ones that give us special goodies. We've already got our crystal. And this is probably going to lead to an alternate exit that won't allow us to get our box gem this run. But that's alright. That's something for a future run, once we have all of our traversal upgrades and can make absolute mockeries of early game stages. Oh, no! It still bounced us back. Damn it! Man. It's kind of surprising that we're taking on Tropy quite so early in a game where he factors pretty heavily into the plot. I think after him, the only other bosses we have are Engine and Cortex. Speaking of, the, like, big 90-second, like, gameplay-rich promo trailer for Crash 4 featured what appeared to be footage from a new Engine boss fight that looked absolutely incredible. Like you're fighting a proper giant mech on foot this time, it looks like. Okay. Let's make sure we're directly overhead. Not like that. Oh, estimating depth there is gonna be a pain. Everything else we've got down, though. Far from the worst death path in the trilogy, am I right? Okay. Oh, I see. There we go. MC2M says, all the death paths in the trilogy have been pretty great. I can think of one notable exception, but I will say, yeah, for the most part, these have been really well designed, like special challenges. I dig them. And they always give great rewards, so it feels... Sorry, they almost always give great rewards, so they almost always feel worthwhile. And you know what? Why don't, since we do have more time, since we started the stream a bit early, why don't we go back for the all-box gem in that stage? Because I kind of want to take out some frustration on it after proving myself an imbecile with those scorpions, and because we already got most of the boxes pretty easily.
Crash, Coco, if you have already retrieved a levels crystal, then you will find a floating clock when you enter for the second time.
Oh, I know.
This floating clock activates time trial mode. Grab it, and the clock will start ticking. Race for the end to get the best time, but beware, some elements will change.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks though, Aku Aku. Pass. Whew. And you just start off the stage tearing into a massive stack of crates. Love that. Looks like, minus the death path, this isn't going to be just an insanely long stage. And seeing as how it heavily utilizes, like, the hanging lattices as a gimmick, maybe that's for the best? Keep it from feeling stale? MC2M says, is it me or is the audio in the game slightly out of sync? It shouldn't be. Everything seemed to be working perfectly fine during the first two games. I don't know, though. I honestly don't know. I'm not seeing anything over here that I could say definitively is out of sync. What do we think, folks? Anybody else? Is this something I need to look into? Probably should, as I prep the VOD anyway. Yet another reason to finally get that capture card of mine up and running. So we don't have to continue to rely on PS4 share. Alright. That's the way. That'll help top up those lives that we've thrown away in pursuit of special gems. Alright. I would say something about how simple this is going to be from here on out, but, well, we know how that always ends. Oh, don't even have to worry about them if we just spin them or slide into them to begin with. Lovely. You know, Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, one of my favorite, more, modern, like, action platformers, well, kind of sort of action-adventure game-ish, I guess, not a strict platformer, had a absolutely beautifully designed chapter very late in the game set in ancient Arabia. And god, there's just so much you can do with these visual and auditory motifs, style-wise. Is Sly Cooper also Naughty Dog? Sucker Punch, I think. The guys who went on to make Infamous, right? They also, or no, the fourth game, Thieves in Time, was created by Sansaru Games, who, among other things, handled the reignited remake of Spyro 3 specifically. They do a whole lot of ports and remakes, remasters, that kind of thing. They did work on the Sly Remastered Collection, like the Trilogy, that's available on PS3, and is very good. I highly encourage any potential fans to get hold of it. Wow, we just blew him right to hell, didn't we? Alright, that should be everything. The art direction is similar, that's why... Yeah, it is. And I really like this particular visual style. It's very poppy, reminds you of like a very well-done animated film or Saturday morning cartoon. Well, no, I have to say animated film because most Saturday morning cartoons were made on shoestring budgets and therefore looked kinda crappy comparatively. But yeah, like a really solid animated film. Alright, what's next? Oh, another racing stage. Road Crash. Alright, time for Fred Dursticoot to get his race on once again. Accelerate just before the green light for a boost? Yeah, I didn't know if you could do that in this game. Ever so slightly off, but that's alright. There we are. Jeez! Well, we're trying that again. No way we could win or get all the boxes. So I think, actually, this time I might want to try to win first and then go back for the boxes when there's, like, no time limit or restraints. We could finish 7th and it wouldn't matter. And we're getting ever closer to a fight with Tropy. And I've heard, I don't know because I've not, like, seen or played it, but that the Tropy fight is kind of disappointing for what it is. I thought I was right on the money with the acceleration that time, but okay. Oof. These guys are holding formation and speed much better than the racers in the first race stage did. Oh, so close. Really? Once more. And again, this looks like one where getting the gem's gonna be a cakewalk. But actually beating these guys, yikes. There we go. Got a nice little speed boost out of that. I'm happy. I'm not happy. We're making pretty decent time. All right. Ooh, the turns, they are so sharp. Ooh, thought we could clip around that, and we can. It's a much longer track than the first. Ooh. Alright, one more try. I think I'm getting it. Seems like we want to use the wheelie boosts for extremely short periods of time. But this is honestly the kind of difficulty I'd expect the special stages to start having now. We are, believe it or not, like, gaining on halfway through the game, I think. Huh. The timing for that starting acceleration is really finicky. Oh! Jeez. I can see where they got the idea for the kart racer from. Presuming this did come first, I believe it did. There we go. Nice. Oof. Oh. Are we gonna win it? Probably not, but we're gonna... Shit! Come damn close. Well, that was very disappointing. We were actually on track to win, finally. Restart? Oh yes. Oh yeah. We'll get it, we're getting there. That little shortcut's handy, I believe. You know, the first Sly game actually had a racing stage that was suspiciously similar to this. Background, like visual elements and all. Guess the folks at Sucker Punch played a lot of Crash. And considering the numbers this series pulled in... Are you kidding me? Not only do you lose your boost, but you knock the car ahead of you forward, even if you... whatever. Here we go. Oh, so close. So close. Ah! Oh, man. It's a Crash game, so you know it's gonna be hard as nails. Tough as nails, sorry. Hate that. Doing solid so far. Should be coming up on our first big boost here. Yep. No, 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 no. Well, that's it. We've lost. And you can't sail over the gaps either. It's like full depletion of momentum. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet now. This is both demanding of concentration and just a little frustrating. Alright, doing fine up to now. We've got this part of the race down pat, basically. MCTube says I would take over and do that race stage real quick, but the controller's a bit far for that. Oh, I appreciate it, it's just... trying to articulate exactly what about this design philosophy miffs me, because challenge really isn't the problem. It's so many challenges in this game, and I think it's just hand in hand with the fairly narrow design structure of a traditional platformer, demand absolute perfection. There is a certain series of maneuvers you need to perform exactly as intended, and any failure to do so, like the slightest deviation, is punished extremely harshly. There is no gathering your bearings or resources and maybe saving some ground. It's, you do this exactly the way we designed it, or you die. And there's, I guess, just a lack of allowance for plurality in approaches to challenges kind of gets my goat, more often than not. Oh, no, it's not just racing games. I mean, like, the racing stages by themselves are more or less fine. It's like the Crash Trilogy in general. The Cold Hard Crash thing, the slippery climb from the first game. There we go. The difficulty at times feels more punishing than, like, really challenging. Like, you didn't do this exactly the way the devs did when they went through and playtested it, so you don't get your rewards. A lot of adventure games, classic adventure games, actually work that way with some of their logic puzzles. Not the good ones, of course, the ones anybody remembers, but like some of the more obscure titles got really, really weird with their logic and the ways they expected players to think and operate in the spaces they created. Yeah, have a little wiggle room at times, or do what a lot of action RPGs do, many of which, like the Souls-likes, are incredibly challenging, and allow for a plurality of approaches. If one particular playstyle or method may not suit the player, have, whether it's explicit or implicit, some alternative method through which they can overcome a challenge if they're willing to put in the work to discover it or utilize it properly. Okay, pits are coming up. Gotta be very careful. Yes. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to go through and get the gem, which should be piss easy. All we have to do is make sure we hit all the boxes that are in mid-air, and we should be fine. I don't know why they didn't modify it, since they went to the trouble of adding Coco into the entire trilogy as a playable character, to allow her, or allow the... Oh.
Crashed a few parties before, but I never expected you to make it this far. If you don't turn back...
I will inflict 1,000 years of suffering on you and the entire universe.
Don't know why they wouldn't also allow Coco to be playable in these special stages. There's a time trial for the racetrack? No. Alright. Oh, damn. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, so we do have to get them all in one go. That's kind of tricky, but alright, we got this. It's not as hard as it looks, no doubt. What percentage of the game we completed? 28. There's even more gems in this one. 47, wow. There might be a 6th world, I don't know. Like a hidden one. No. The time trial, I believe, precludes us from getting the box gem. Gentle, gentle. Not that gentle. There we go. Good. No box on this ramp, so thank God for small miracles. I'm actually using them to slow myself down now to make sure we don't miss any boxes. Got all 4 of them, that's great. No! No, man! Those damn dragsters, if you even tap them, they send you flying. Okay, that's probably the trickiest box to get, overall. The more I look at, like, as Ben pointed out, the art design, particularly of, like, environments, I see a lot of this game's influence in the Sly Cooper series. Like, a lot. And that's one of my favorite series of all time, so it's good to see where probably some of that inspiration comes from. Not being able to turn around, well, I mean, why would you? It's a race stage. Oh, this makes it so much harder than the first one. So much harder. So to get that little burst of speed at the start of the race, you actually have to activate the accelerator long before, like, you would in, well, say Mario Kart, where you have to jam the accelerator just the second the light turns green. There's maybe a half second to a second delay here. curious to see what our final stage is. Do we think it's going to be another Tiger Run? Because we are in, like, the Chinese-themed hub, and I don't think we've played any Chinese or even vaguely East Asian-themed levels. There we are. One more? Hopefully. Yes, and I think I can see it. Yes! Alright, baby, we good. Would be terrible if I managed to collect them all, pop the crate, and then just boost straight on past the gym. Alright, very good. One more stage before Entropy. And what shall it be? Oh no, it's a medieval stage again. MC2M says boosting straight past something, you say? Reminds me of yesterday. Oh, don't remind me, Jesus. Now, to be fair, we only went sailing past the exclamation point block once. Oh. Oh, these lab assistants did not have a good time. Oh, and they turn into nice little platforms. Thank you, gents. Now, so far, we've seen nothing anywhere near the level of difficulty presented in either of the first two games, I don't think. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I highly doubt we ultimately will. Well, at least we know why they call it the stage doubleheader now. I don't care if we lose the loot, as long as we get the box. Ooh. There we go. Getting some good use out of our double jump, as always. Now, in at least Crash 1 on the PS1, it took ages to successfully break any of these springboard crates. Because instead of dispersing their 10 Wumpa fruit in 5 disbursements of 2, they released a single fruit every single time you jumped on them, and would need to be jumped on a total of 10 times. Gives you a little bit more wiggle room for jump puzzles, or I shouldn't say puzzles, like platforming courses, but that's about it. Bonus stage, yes please. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So that's all there is up there. Got it. Ooh. Hey, there we go. That's the way. Now give us all those sweet, sweet balsa wood boxes. Oh, they're attacking us with bone-in turkeys. MC2 says, I like it. Yeah, that was a really good little platforming challenge. Ooh! He hit us from, well, technically while we were behind him. We might just get all the boxes here. There we go. Nice, nice. Now we'll fight Tropy and be done. I'll go make myself some dinner and start grading. I think I'll just make some nice, really well-seasoned rice tonight. It's been a while since I had some rice. Alright, bit early to be fighting him, but let's do it. Dr. Tropy. With the Fred Dursticoot, of course.
You little vermin are way too stupid to understand what you're getting yourselves into. This time, you've done it.
He is my favorite design, like, aesthetic design out of any villain in the series.
You little skunk. Give me the crystal.
It's like DreamWorks does steampunk. I love it. Oh, nice and simple. Just dodge his attacks until he collapses, and then you're good to go. Except, now we're in China. Okay. And his weapon is a giant tuning fork. And now to Arabia. Red ones come for us at ground level. Blue ones overhead.
I'm tired,
Huh.
but
So we earned the A Nefarious Trophy. Lovely. Oh, and the Death Tornado Spin. I've heard about this. To spin longer and faster, or to glide while in the air, just hammer the square button. That'll give us some much-needed extended verticality, but, wasn't that fight kind of a shame? Like, I like the central concept of every time you hit him traveling to a different time period and getting a different backdrop. I think that's really cool. And there was nothing at all wrong with his suite of attacks. I thought they were perfectly fine, but felt like there should have been more of them, or more to the fight. Like, he's one of the central characters in this narrative, and, as you can see, he ain't doing so hot right now. Well, that was World 3.
You insignificant morons! By defeating Entropy, you have placed us all in grave danger!
Crash, Coco, you must realize that this time twister machine is very delicate.
MC2M says this is almost a parody of a boss fight. Yeah, and that was supposed to be one of the cool new villains. Now, Tiny and Dingodile had great fights, and that one wasn't bad. It's just okay, maybe? Like, perfectly serviceable. And this should be Engine, right? Ancient Egypt? Yes. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to call it for tonight, as we've been going for over 3.5 hours. Wow. And we've already made a ton of progress into Crash 3. So far, it's... I'll say I prefer it to the other two. It's really robust and well-rounded. I can't wait to explore even further. We've got just 10 more, at least, baseline stages, but a whole ton of gems to gather. So there's probably going to be 1 or 2 streams dedicated solely to that. We've got to take down Doctors Engine and Cortex, as well as Uka Uka. Looking forward to that, and seeing what other cool new abilities we can unlock. I enjoy having a modular moveset in a Crash game. Makes it feel like you're really progressing, you know? And like that backtracking is going to be worthwhile. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I always appreciate your patronage. Whether you've been active in chat or just hanging out in the audience, I do appreciate you so much. Thank you for spending your time and sharing yourselves and your evening with us. I really, really appreciate it. If you're watching this VOD on YouTube, thanks so much for checking us out. Feel free to stop by the Twitch channel, twitch.tv, or, yeah, twitch.tv / the Overanalyst. And we would absolutely adore to see you. I stream daily, try to, from around 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time, more often than not. Oh, take care, Ben. Thanks a lot, man. And we would love to have you. Join us tomorrow. YouTube channel, I will link in either the Discord or the group chat thereafter. I mainly just use it to upload bulk VODs, but I'll send you a link. Thank you all so much. We'll see you tomorrow for probably more Crash 3. I'll probably do Crash 3, but if my curiosity about something I bought recently gets the better of me, I might dive into something else. Alright, thank you all so much, and take care.